spectacular creation. Romans chapter 1 verse 19, it says that we can see clearly God's power, and we can see His nature that points to His existence. For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. This verse is not about faith, no. It is about seeing things clearly that God has made. For His invisible attributes, namely His eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made. We see God's character, His attributes, His power that's been there ever since eternity to eternity. And we see His holy nature. It's all there for us to see. The Apostle Paul, he talked about our Creator. He made everything. Look around you. All things He made. I could expound on verse 19 and 20 for hours and hours, but our time here is limited. I will give you an example from my personal life. I've always been fascinated by the stars and the moon and the various planets. I think, wow, how enormous that the universe is. We see the stars, but understand that really our eyes receive the light from the stars. The way it works, the light itself travels for many, many years from the stars arriving to our eyes. After these many years, the light that travels, wow, it travels so fast. It travels about 186,000 miles per second. Not miles per hour, no. Miles per second. Really fast. You know, most of us, we're familiar with the North Star. We're familiar with that. And that star travels, wow, it travels so fast. It takes it 434 years to arrive to our eyes. Wow, light travels so very fast. That means, wow, the universe, it is enormous. That is what our Creator made. Now the sun, it is 93 million miles from Earth. We feel the sunshine's warmth, and it feels good. Now remember that warmth that is from the sun that feels so good, it takes a very long time for the light to travel to Earth. You know how long? It takes about 8 minutes for the sun to arrive. About 8 minutes. Wow, we can see and feel God's attributes, His power. God is awesome. He made everything that works together to sustain our lives. All of these things that we see God's beauty. We know that God is there. You know, in the last devotion that we had, I explained about how there's people who suppress the truth. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. We see very clearly the truth. God is there. That's why that Paul said that we have no excuse. We can't say, oh, I'm stupid, I don't know. No excuse. So they are without excuse. We need to remember what Paul says. That's exactly what God says. God's words are in the Bible. No person has an excuse to say, oh, I don't know if God is there. No. You know, people who are atheists and they say, oh, there's no God. Well, their argument is too simple. I want to share this quotation with you from C.S. Lewis. Atheism turns out to be too simple. If the whole universe has no meaning, we should never have found out that it has no meaning. Just as if there were no light in the universe and therefore no creatures with eyes, we should never know it was dark. Well, that's right. It doesn't matter what an atheist's argument is about if the Bible isn't true or if they say, oh, God doesn't exist. It doesn't really matter. The truth is that God is there. God says it. Now, should we believe them or should we believe God? Which? Corn deal.